Yo, yo. All right, we here. All right, we going to talk about some new crypto news, how the crypto been going, and my personal results so y'all can get into it too. This is where we was at last time we checked with our Bitcoin and crypto.com. You saw our card just came, so this is where we was at a little while ago. We had the 197 and CRO. And then we had 266 in the Bitcoin. So we had a total of 365. 465 in there. So this is where we at today. We made $10 in the last 2 days. We up $7 today. And that's because Bitcoin jumped up. And we're going to look at that. Mining CC, remember it started at 1.6 for their token. And originally we were making 45 cents a day in the Bitcoin mining pool that we had with Mining CC. Then the coin jumped up to $1.90. Then we started making 128 a day in the mining pool. And then as of today, we are at $1.33 a day that we're making in the mining pool. And so far the token is up to $1.95. So I hope y'all are seeing just some of how the crazy shifts and fluctuations that these coins and tokens can have, which can be positive or negative depending on how you invest. So definitely check those out. Hit me up, like I said, always for questions. Definitely do your due diligence. So next we're going to get into some of the new news. So like I showed in my previous post, this morning Bitcoin was up at $11,037. And just right now, as we speak, it's up at $11,117. So $100 in one day. But remember, the Bitcoin was at 4,000 in May. So Willy Woo is a guy that I follow. If you're not familiar with Willy Woo, he's real popular in the crypto space. He's an analyst. He works for like Crypto CoinDesk, Cointelegraph. He's pretty popular. But what he's been talking about lately is how the holders of Bitcoin, which are these whales, these large consumers of Bitcoin, just similar to the stock market, how there are large companies, hedge funds, or whatever that buy up large amounts of stocks and they cause the fluctuations and they cause the changes in prices in the market. The same is similar to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has these giants who come and they buy up a lot of the different Bitcoin or a lot of different coins in general, and they'll hold them for long periods of time to realize their expected gains. They may sell off here and there to realize small profits and then rebuy at lower entries, but for the most part they hold on to them and then they wait until they hit a realized target goal and then they sell off. So the whales, the holders, the people who are holding the Bitcoin and buying up large amounts of it, they're causing the people who are day trading or the short-term traders, they're causing them to go to these new exchanges and these new platforms that are popping up because a lot of the Bitcoin is limited, until new Bitcoin is mined by the miners. So until that time, there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin in circulation. And people have to buy or sell the Bitcoin to realize gains. And they also have to buy or sell it to get new Bitcoin, but then to keep it in circulation. But these whales, these people who are buying up large amounts of Bitcoin, they're caught in the circulation, which is in turn suppressing the price right now. So the crazy thing is, even though we're seeing these huge gains, even though we're seeing $500 in one day, $100 again in another day, like the price is still suppressed on Bitcoin. This isn't even as high as it can go. So the sky's the limit. And I totally agree. And from my research, I fully agree with Willie that playing the long term with this Bitcoin is definitely going to be the move. Because even though it's the price is getting suppressed right now, even though things are going on, like this Bitcoin is going nothing but up, in my opinion, from my research. You have to do your own research and you have to do, form your own opinion. But this is from the data that I have. So Willy Woo, he did a study just recently on CoinDesk, and it talks about how if you held Bitcoin over time from the market cap gains, you would have gained $3.30 per dollar invested. And here's the market cap gain chart that he did. And that's crazy because if you would have put, $1,000 in, you would have had $3,000 just by holding it. So again, we know that market caps aren't necessarily indicators on price like we see here with Tesla. Tesla is at $433, but it has a market cap of $404 billion. Alibaba has a market cap of $810 million, which is double that, and it has a price of $299. And then Apple, which has a market cap of $2 trillion, has a price right now, a stock price of $116. So market cap isn't necessarily tied to the price of an investment. And like we talked about before, this is about the Bitcoin whales, and this gives you some more information. You can screenshot that if you need to. But this is good. So on Cointelegraph, this is another analyst website where you can go and get some information on new crypto news. So like I talked about in a previous video, Bitcoin is linked to blockchain, which is nothing but just links of data gathered together. So it links the transactions. You can always go back and look at the transaction, but you can't see who that wallet or that transaction is tied to. So what this is saying is that there's large amounts and large caps of unspent Bitcoin, which are being held by the whales that we talked about, the large corporations or the large funds or groups of people. And that's causing Bitcoin and other coins to be suppressed. But basically, you just have to do your research and see if you're going to be in it for the long haul, because you can make money short term, but if you're in it for the long haul, you can definitely outlast these whales. So this next article is talking about some near projections for Bitcoin and its price. It's saying that if we end up holding strong at the 11.4 or 11.5 area, and there's no rejection at 11.6, then we can see Bitcoin breaking out and going towards 12,000 in the next coming week. But if not, then we could see it going as low as 10,000 or even lower, depending on, how it ends up going. But win or lose, at the end of the day, you can win or lose with Bitcoin. Not just Bitcoin, but a lot of your investments. Like, the whole point is to buy low and sell high. So if we're seeing like great gains right now, we're seeing huge gains and you already own it, then, cap out on your gains, sell a little bit of your gains. Or you can just hold it off and like I'm doing and just keep holding it and keep riding it up. And make sure that you have like your target price. Make sure that you have like a contingency plan. You're not just being like, okay, I'm just ride it. Like, just be like, okay, I know once it gets to this amount, I'm going to sell a little bit off. I'm going to sell X amount off to gain some profit. And then I'm going to wait and hold the rest of it. And for those people who end up losing money, or for those people who want to wait, like when Bitcoin or if Bitcoin falls, I don't look at it as a loss, because now I can buy Bitcoin for a cheaper price than what I previously bought it at. So either way, whether Bitcoin goes up or whether Bitcoin goes down, as long as you believe and trust that this crypto is going to the future, then, it doesn't matter. You can win on both sides. And if you don't believe that, then I wouldn't suggest you investing. But either way, don't always feel like you have to save up this large amount to invest. You can always dollar cost average. And that just means that if you get $100 paycheck, you can put $10 to the side. If you get $1,000 a week, then you can put $100 to the side. You get $3,000 a month, maybe you can put $500 to the side. You can always start with a small amount and keep adding to your investment accounts. You don't have to, do it all at one time. It's not a necessity. But last but not least, the Great Reset, the New World Order. I know a lot of that gets thrown around or whatever, and I'm not on the political stuff, but it's something that's real. And the World Economic Forum, they recently just met, and they had a whole 2-hour conference on it. You can go check it out on YouTube or go check it out on their website. But here's just some highlights from it that I think y'all might be interested in. It's basically from what I gathered, is that they're trying to centralize a lot of the stuff. And, me personally, I'm against the centralization. I'm definitely for DeFi. I'm all for decentralized finance. So if you're on that wave, then it's definitely something for you to watch out and, be prepared and start preparing with your money. If you're interested and you like centralized finance, you like the current banking system, you like those things, then it's for you as well. Either way, whether you're against it or whether you're for it, is something that can benefit you from just checking it out. So here's a little 5-minute clip, and that's the end of this video. So thank y'all always, man, and I appreciate the love, appreciate the support, appreciate y'all views, and any comments, any feedback always is appreciated. Thank y'all.
Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us has a vital role to play.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis. And now is the time for all of us to define our own role. What is it that would make it so that history would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset?
The Great Reset is a welcome recognition that this human tragedy must be a wake-up call. It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world. Rebalancing investment, harnessing science and technology, and advancing the transition to net zero emissions, all elements of the Great Reset, are fundamental to building the future we need.
The world's problems fit on three sides of a triangle. It's one versus many, man versus nature, and the unfortunate foundation is long-term versus short-term.
We had already income inequality that was fueling income, race, gender inequality. We have a climate emergency, which we can't walk away from. There's no doubt that the very survival of the human race requires us to act.
Any recovery stimulus should have green conditions attached to it. Energy prices should reflect real costs.
You need private sector capital, private sector ingenuity, private sector technology, and private sector capabilities to come to the party. You need enormous trust between the private sector and the public sector for this to actually work.
We have to change our economy dramatically in the next 20 or 30 years, and the next 10 years is absolutely decisive.
The recovery has to be greener than any of the previous recoveries. And in order to do that, we need to ensure that the stimulus package, including fiscal and monetary, are much greener than they were before. So we cannot waste this opportunity to ensure that the very precious money that's raised from the next generation is spent on green and low carbon.
We will now start a quite high number of task forces to look at all the different issues, and we will present all those ideas to the people assembled in Davos. But at the same time, we will make Davos very different, very open, to ensure that we do not fall back to old recipes, but that we really look at forward-oriented solutions.
Young entrepreneurs, especially from developing countries that are there and can see the right problem, can really step up and create solutions.
Finding profitable solutions to problems of the people and the planet, and we're starting to see firms move to that, and we're seeing firms that behave responsibly in that way actually doing better on conventional measures of profitability and doing better in this particular period.
We've also seen social entrepreneurs step in incredible ways. Not only has it exposed the precarious reality, but then it has also exposed the opportunity to recenter the reset around the most vulnerable and those on the edge, where it only takes something like a pandemic or difficult circumstances to slide into poverty.
And then we need to couple that with new initiatives to equip more people with the digital skills they'll need, not just to have a tech job, but a job that is increasingly tech-enabled in almost every part of the economy. If we can empower consumers with all of this, I think we unleash this next generation to have a much broader impact more quickly.
We can never again allow our health, education, care systems to be underfunded.
We need our imagination here. Possible is being redefined each and every day right now. So the next time someone tells us that tackling climate change is either too costly or too difficult, I think we need to remind them and remind ourselves of what just is happening right now.
We not only have to demand change, but also create change.
We have to live up to the expectations which we have created, and we will do so.